And the uptake on the mobile parking is pretty easy. I don't think people were against that either.
Yep, we have 15,378 active users as of
Really?
last month, yep,
15,000, over 15,000.
active
That's
individuals.
amazing.
Yep.
What do we have for Fango, do you know?
Not that much, I'd have to go back into my computer and look, but I don't even know if they gave us that information, really. Passport's so much more user friendly. Well,
Less complaints with, the new version.
Good, yeah. We, were up for DPI at the orientation thing, and the kids were real quick to, thank you, by the way, because Lisa's out of town. I reached out to her about getting some of the new pamphlets, and
yeah,
she said that there were some in the parking office, so we grabbed those and picked them up, and kids were real quick to slam that QR code and get it on their phone, so. I mean, we got rid of handing out most of the material we took up last time because kids were just taking pictures of stuff. So they made everything pretty QR code friendly, as far as like following downtown Bloomsburg stuff and the parking and all of it. So, yeah, I'm glad to see that it's working.
And we have one other thing, just,
Mhm.
we're putting up some extra enforcement hours. Meters have plate on them. So the areas, there's several areas that Wade brought to my attention that don't have the enforcement hours and the meters are on. So South, Center Street, Iron Street, from Pine Ave to Third, there was no meters, no passport signs. We're gonna put those green enforcement signs that say no parking 10 to 5. Mainly South Market Street, south of the post office, down to Anthony Avenue, just as an addition. We have them all on East Street where there's no meters and so forth, so. They're trying works with, Ways and Public Works.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be helpful too. So, yeah. We're being compliant, that's a great thing too. And we also, are in our final testing for electronic, submission of citations. Passport, we're the guinea pig, and working with the AOPC, we have that going on, and 9/5 should be the last testing, and 11/2 is the twin. They will be
Submission of citations to the
actual
state.
traffic citations to the magistrate, but we're not putting in the data, printing them off, sending them up, it's all gonna be.
Yeah, when, somebody doesn't pay their ticket, eventually it goes to a traffic citation. Right now, we're using the old system, but Elise and Tracy and the other parking officers have been working with AOPC to make sure it's correct and updated and ready to go. So hopefully that's, a nice transition now, makes it a little bit easier on these guys.
I was gonna say, what would you be your estimate of the percentage of administrative work that saves you guys?
At least a solid day, already, because I'm putting in data from Passport and back into our old visual alert and running the citation from there, because that's the only system that we produce them.
Yeah.
So this will be at least a day and a half, because I have to do the data in the day before and then actually print them. I would say probably a day, that's probably a day, yep.
Glad to hear. Okay, are there any other questions about the financial statement? Lisa, anything you want to point out? Absolutely.
Nothing to point out. I did take notice Service Electric, their quarterly amounts are a little bit higher, maybe due to the audit, so that's always good.
Cool.
So when I say higher, like only by 3 or 4 grand, but.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you. Item 5 is an update on the season pass refunds for the pool.
We've got 8 of them already, and we got 8 more for next week. Other than that, 16 people, less than $500. Yeah, not too terrible.
Great. It was interesting, I was down there this weekend. We sort of talked a little bit about that with Brandon. And, the way we have it set up currently is anybody can be on those passes, which is a good thing in one respect. But in this case, it probably would have been a lot easier to have just said, hey, the person who is responsible for this pass, like the name of the top pass who we're cutting the check to, not gonna take $65 and cut it up 10 ways and send out 10 different checks for 6 points. So maybe, going forward in the future, hopefully we don't find ourselves in this situation again when we offer refund, but we ought to probably say something like, either A, we're not offering refunds for maintenance type stuff, or if there's a refund to be issued, it will be issued to one person on the pass and they can fight amongst themselves.
Yeah. Didn't even think about that.
No, not about that.
I think we only issued to the one person on the.
We did only issue to the main pass, whoever wrote out the pass is the one we issued. to.
Oh, okay, so that is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's not bad.
We did discuss yesterday and even prior to have a disclosure on the pool pass form to say, you know, we are entitled to close for maintenance, weather, et cetera.
Yeah.
So that way there's a disclosure that they're signing off on.
And I think that's smart for next year.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I think we did a really good job of getting this taken care of as fast as we could, and sometimes things just happen. Okay. Any other questions about that? Thank you for that word.
Anytime.
All right, item 6 is approval of participating in the annual downtown window painting event for the exchange.
I'll move for a second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Well, wait, don't we pick one?
Oh,
So,
don't we
there's
usually
two
just do
different
two?
things, right? There's painting the windows, but then
Yeah.
there's also this sponsorship thing.
Okay, I see.
So, what do we normally do? Two windows?
Two
Two windows, yep. They're down in parking, like the parking windows.
I'm okay with that. I don't
Yeah,
think
me
that's
too.
fun.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming, is we would just do the 2 windows we usually do.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Jackie? You
Yeah.
had the first question.
100%.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. Item 7 is approval of the 2026 council mayor stipend.
So this was not discussed for a while. In 2024, there was new legislation to enforce like who could receive the increase, and then also the adjustments were made. So for next year, for example, if council were to vote on this, it would be for anyone new coming in that would be elected in. So council could not go past 5,450, and then the mayor's role no more than 12,575, and that's set by state legislation, and that's based off of our population.
Hmm.
So right now we're at 4,000 and 6,000.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there's any motion or entertainment to change that. If so, it is an ordinance, so our ordinance would have to be changed.
That's not the budget.
No, that's exactly what I
You know,
thought.
it's
I mean,
not worth talking about.
if we're giving raises, I'd rather give them to employees.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Bobby?
Yeah, fun.
Okay, I think it's fine where it's at.
I do too. I mean, it changed what, in 2021?
Yeah, 2024 it changed. I think possibly in 2023 we last discussed. I'd have to look at the minutes, but it was not changed for several years.
I was just saying, I don't think it's changed the entire time.
We discussed it to see if there was an intent to change it, but there wasn't at that point. So
Okay.
it's just been a while to actually have a topic of it, you know, in committee or council. So I didn't know if there was any intent to change that.
No, thank you.
I enjoy this so much.
I do too.
I don't mind my salary at all.
I don't either.
I feel like most of it just goes to donations anyway, yeah.
Right, exactly. Give it back to the.
Yeah, it all winds up back in the community when we're done. But, okay. All right, next is approval of accepting a probationary period of Brian Hess in the Public Works Department.
I'll move to approve.
Been moved and seconded.
Yeah, Brian's done an awesome job, picks up on everything really quickly, and helps other guys learn things, and definitely a good asset.
Agreed.
All right, any other comments or concerns?
He was able to gain his CDL as well, so that's been taken care of.
Okay,
Finance is still deducting the pay deductions to get up to that $3,800, is it?
correct.
So that's still ongoing, but he has successfully got that.
Okay. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Thank you. Next is approval of setting the 2026 pool season date.
Yes, I gave you guys some papers there, not to bore you too much. So I did a review, of the 2025 season operations for the pool. And we're, looking at our closing and opening dates to be, around June 6th to August 16th. So our season length this year was 18 weeks, 14 weeks actually open, but 4 weeks of the pool running, getting prepared. Also including the 2 weeks towards the end of the season when it's not open, except for like the 2 weekends. Our operational expenses were $57,700. Staffing costs were $30,000. The unexpected electrical issue, if you all know about that, is $12,500. So our total expenditures were $88,500. Total revenue was $88,100. So we're essentially operating at a loss.
Is there something else
Yeah,
with that? We just have.
Yeah, so I didn't give you guys these packets, I just gave you the visuals to kind
Oh.
of go over, I can. give you a copy of
Yeah,
that.
I told him not to give you the copy because a lot of times you said you don't want him to read off the sheet, so it's more of a talking point.
Okay.
The graph though, the graph,
Okay.
yeah.
the graph that you guys do have though shows those peak seasons of start.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of just visualizes everything on. it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
So I'm sorry, what was the loss then?
$400, not $400, what we were, lost, operating at loss was like 400. So essentially, we kind of almost broke even, and some of these numbers aren't, so our weekly expenses for our, like, chlorine, chemicals, electric, water, and then like cleaning service, that's all a fixed number. I based our staffing costs on the low end of 30,000 for the light stars.
Okay.
So those numbers are set, but our income, our revenue is, was 88,000 something
Okay.
for this season.
We generally plug in about a $25,000 loss for that, do not?
We typically do. So the one major thing that we saw this year was on the wages. Brandy really held the guards at a really good schedule.
Okay.
So we weren't having double of, the head guard with the pool coordinator there. So we adjusted that on the rates. Council said, hey, we just want lifeguard 1 or 2, and then the pool coordinator. When the pool coordinator was not there, we had like an OIC, kind of like what the police do. That way, if Brandy wasn't there, we had a lifeguard 2 fill in and get a $4 stipend.
So you saying
per
that
hour.
even with the repairs that we had to do, we still basically broke even?
Essentially, yes.
We could have made money this year. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, and so
Well,
this
good thing
is,
we're sitting down.
Brady,
Yeah.
Brady has a plan. Brady has a
Sitting
plan.
down.
Yeah, so if you look at that,
Brady, you're gonna be my new favorite person around here.
the top, graph there, that, so the beginning here, the bottom is your weeks,
Mm-hmm.
so, you're open for 18 weeks. Now, when we're open, and the pool's not open, say we're still running, treating water,
Yeah.
that weekly cost is $3,206.17 per week. And that number doesn't go away
Right.
regardless of your being staffed or not. So when looking at that, that shows you, in the early season and the late season, that's where we are really losing most of our money. So we trimmed, the beginning and the end down from where we started in May. Yeah, May 31st to September 1st. If we move it to June 6th to August 16th, that will not only cut down those low days, but also coordinates with school calendars. So if kids get out of school on June 3rd, say we open up on the 5th or 6th, first weekend kids are out of school, a lot of our lifeguards are in school, or college, I guess same thing. But then closing August 16th, that would eliminate the last 2 weeks of this season where we were still open and crewing, the $3,200 weekly, but only open 2 days on the weekend. So we might have made, $1,000 in those 2 weeks, but we spent over $6,000 in expenses.
Can you build a sulfur heater on this? So that the water's warmer those last 2 weeks of August.
So just doing that, I think would really help, not only to, essentially, we need to start building money, making money. So when these expenses come up like we had with the electrical, we don't have to say where we're gonna get this money, we have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see. So then
This one
also
just
the
made my
concession stand.
That was that easy.
Yeah, concession stand, I did a projected, revenue model. If we were to man the concession stand ourselves, we could generate a revenue of $80,850 per season in a 14-week period.
Wait, how much?
With payroll,
$80,850, that's not including payroll,
No.
that's just assuming,
that's just right.
each person that comes in spends $350, at the concession stand. So that's, like I said, a projection based off of, $350 per person admission. And then, that would really help, that's almost as much as we made this season to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe like a cooler policy where, we don't want to allow people to bring it in, that would also help boost that concession revenue. So if, from my projected model, you would be looking at a projected revenue of $224,000 if you included the concession, and we were working off of, peak daily attendance of 300 during July and August, 2 months, and then shoulder attendance would be 150, in the late and early season. And then obviously that would include, the concession. So I think, based off of other pools that I've seen in the area that are opening, June 5th to August 16th, I'm thinking maybe they figured this out and that's why they're doing that. Cause that, right there, it shows you on that graph, those 2 weeks at the beginning, even possibly 3, at the beginning and end, are really soaking up a lot of your revenue.
What's our current rent for the concession stand?
$300 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I projected it, you'd probably, say wages and, whatever food we were gonna sell there, say it's $15,000, project that from 80,000, you still got a good chunk of change.
I'm with you, man, but running the pool is different than running the food business.
Yes.
So you really need someone there that would, like, you watch food costs and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
plus,
Oh, yeah, we would definitely have to find somebody.
Yeah, that's a different piece than just running the pool.
Yeah.
And it's taken us this point, I mean, this is the first year we're like, okay,
Yeah, even if we don't do the concession stand,
yeah,
I mean, we just adjusted these dates to,
Yeah.
The 5th to the 16th. I think we'd really see a substantial increase in revenue.
Mhm.
And give us a set time that we can tell the public, hey, these are the days we're open, this is our season, and it's really geared around the kids, because, let's be honest, mostly it's kids that use the pool.
So like Bourbon doesn't open till June,
So they open May 26th to September 1st.
okay.
But, we have a pool, we're trying to gear this towards kids,
Right,
May 26th, kids aren't even out of school yet,
right.
and kids go back to school, the 16th of August. Yeah, August 16th. So, I mean, we're keeping it open for a while.
I think if we did nothing else differently next year, I like the idea of the embedded schedule.
Starting later.
Yeah. Although as an adult, it is really nice to
It
go
is
to school
really
once school
nice.
starts.
I agree. I felt that our Labor Day was very cool
Yeah.
as well this year, and I don't know if that's a trend.
The last 2 weeks with it getting down in the 50s and 40s overnight. I mean, the water was
Fair enough.
62 on
Sure.
Tuesday, or Monday, sorry. I was, but there were, I think that there's lots of things that we can tweak, but just from a standpoint of we're burning chemicals for no one swimming in it, I would be willing to say that this is the easiest thing we could do to save ourselves some expense.
Yeah, you know, it's like 1 or 2
You know,
days.
we can try it for the
What?
2026 season, and, you know, if it works out great, then we stick to it.
Maybe give the
Yeah.
adults 1 or 2 days extra.
Yeah.
Maybe get that lifeguards.
Fair enough.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We have some college lifeguards, right, but not, it's mostly high school.
Mostly high school, we have a mix, so.
There's a lot of information that I would like to be able to distribute more at the pool as well. I want to figure out how we can do it, but some of the comments I got were, well, you know, people that are there on the regular know that the YMCA kids are there from 2 to 3, but if you were just sort of like a casual pool person, wanted to go to the pool and it's during that period of time, it's hectic.
Yeah.
So I think letting people know what their schedule is, because I even had adults saying like, oh, I enjoyed coming because I knew that the YMCA had, they had field trips these days, so I would go on the days I knew the kids weren't gonna be there that day. And then you basically had adults swim all day.
I think
I
we
do
could,
wanna bring back adult swim as well.
That's 11 to 12 every day.
I know, but when we were kids, we also had like 3 to 3:30.
Was there? I don't remember that.
I think we could manage maybe the Bloomsburg Y, but we also had the Berwick Y, I think, attend.
Mm-hmm.
So those aren't really pre-planned in the beginning of the season, so we could try our best, but I think you would still have some daycares coming to the pool throughout the season.
Right. But,
But-
you know, even if we just had, anyway, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Would there be any objection from this group to say not open until what was your,
So
June
we'll
5th?
be looking at June 5th or 6th, and then closing August 16th.
Open on the 16th. That would be the last day.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah, last day would be August 16th.
Okay.
First day would be the 5th or the 6th, that's a Friday or a Saturday.
let's make it a Saturday.
Let's be, no,
Wait, I
When
mean,
is-
are they
when is-
having
when
a
is
half day
school
on the
that?
5th or something?
So that would be, that'd be the 3rd. Yeah, if you open up the 5th or 6th, it would be out of school.
Is the 6th of Saturday?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's say the 5th.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
that's awesome.
so once this is set, we do have the dates, so the opening close dates on our pool passes. So we can get the form for 2026 out, and then people can buy passes, even for the holidays coming up.
Yeah,
I would just caution that once council truly sets the dates, I know a lot of times we have people that come and say, well, we should probably be open Memorial Day to Labor Day. But essentially, with what Brady has,
Mm-hmm.
$4,000 a week is what is needed just to stay open. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, we could potentially save, was it $12,000
Yeah.
with shifting these dates? And that's just from shifting the dates.
Yeah, if we would have shifted the dates for this season and not had the electrical issues, we would have profited about $20,000.
yeah.
So it looks like 5 weeks in the beginning, basically 5 weeks that we're losing all that money.
That we're not really
2
losing.
weeks at the end of the season.
Yeah.
really need to replace at least one of those floats. And we should have a schedule for that. This would be great to be able to say, hey, yeah, we're gonna shorten this a bit, but we're also gonna be able to keep the shop at the level that we're expecting. Cause it was really well used this year.
Oh, yeah, but when it was closed before, I was explaining to someone, you know, we never had money set aside for repairs, so we didn't collect it. And this person said to me, the pool's not supposed to be a money-making venture. I'm like, well, it kind of has to.
Well, but if you look at the maintenance as an expense, then it's not, you know, that's the thing, it's like, yeah, you might
Right.
have a little bit, but that gets spent.
Yeah, it has
But
to
if things
make
come
money.
up, yeah,
Keep repairing.
Essentially, it has to make money to keep itself running.
Right.
yeah.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And, you know, that's safety wise, updating things, I mean, that's stuff that we need to,
Yeah,
you know, it has to generate it.
I had a kid telling me how much we needed a lazy river, not gonna pay for yourself, you know?
Right next to the bar. It's called the river, right?
And then I said, well, the guys are really good at digging trenches, so we'll just, you know, have a wire link, comes out and around.
So when Ron Pratt was kind of helping us on board and get open, he also said, you know, council should be setting aside new investment, right? So like whether that's a new floatable, whether that's like a rock climbing. So maybe each year, if this works, we save the 12,000 and reinvest into something new or the maintenance cost. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to say that it's just a pocket of money, but I do think that there's probably things that are there currently that needs to be upgraded.
Mhm.
Yeah, this really just benefits your pool and the area.
That's great.
Right,
Well, thank you, Brandy, thanks, Brady.
yeah.
And we also have another backup pump now too, right?
Yeah.
So, ahead of the game on the maintenance, right here. Cool. All right. Does anybody have any, so what was the date you suggested for closing then, August?
16.
Okay.
Crazy dog. So I'm on the phone. So we bring out a flashlight.
I don't know, I mean, my question would be if there were groups that said, hey, if you wanted to book parties through the rest of October and it was gonna be worth our while to be open, would we entertain that? In August, I'm sorry, August, yeah, October's probably the way I would like.
Never know.
Book parties, like swim parties.
Yeah, like if we could get the guaranteed worth our while to be open for that,
So
would we entertain it?
we had a pool party Saturday. I get a text from Brandy saying they called and canceled, probably because it's colder, right? So when that happens, we keep the $50, but whatever they paid in excess of that, we return.
Okay,
We enforce the $50 deposit fee this year, but you know, it's no guarantee that if the weather's horrible, especially in the beginning and the end of the season, which we've been seeing, they typically cancel. So,
Mhm. okay,
but that's at least what we've been seeing on our end.
okay. Then well, let's just keep it at that, and that'll be the change you make for next year. But that's very positive news. Okay, next is, wages.
So right now we have wages set at 11, 12, and then our pool coordinator at 18. So I don't know if there's any suggestions to change that. If there is, I would have, you know, Jack prepare a sheet to say based off of this year's wages, what the difference would be or the increase. Now, keeping in mind what Brady ran was the rates this year.
Mm-hmm.
So even though, you know, the shift is happening, if you guys increase that, obviously that would decrease his estimates
Right.
for profit. So I didn't know if there was any suggestion to change that. In addition, you know, from a financial standpoint, we are really asking for a cash attendant to be at a higher rate. We've had several issues this year with pool tally sheets, bank deposits not matching. Finance takes the lead to communicate this with Brandy. Brandy's kind of out of the loop because she has to be the relayer, right?
Mhm.
So Jack and Joe really need a lead to go to say, hey, we have $225 more. Who is this party pool deposit for? And like, I just saw an email this morning on an example where it's almost like we have the questions, but we need to get that answered. So I don't know if there's a shift from $10 to $15 or $20, but we need some help on the cash attendance side. This year it was at $10 and we had 3 people shuffling through. When the cash attendant wasn't there, we had the lifeguards filling in. Last year, we tried the lifeguards in rotation. We've tried pretty much every possible situation with the framework that we have. I don't want to downplay, like Jack and Joe can speak for themselves, but they had quite a summer, so.
It's challenging.
Yeah.
We spend our time trying to interpret the results. Finally, Joe went to the standpoint, he just took a copy of the tally sheet, and there were so many corrections, you make all the corrections on your copy,
Yeah.
because the original become a mess if you made all your comments. That's how bad the tally sheet.
Would it be worthwhile having like a special meeting where we got together with Brandy and the finance and this group and said like, okay, let's come up with a better system?
That's exactly what I just thought, like,
I
can we
had several
train them
meetings
better?
with Brandy in April
Mhm.
and May of this year, because it's usually me taking the lead with Brandy. Finance was included with the tally sheets. This is probably the 6th different tally sheet that we've had. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's, regular admission, but then there's half admission after a certain time. And then, there's people coming in purchasing pool passes, but then there's still people coming in doing pool parties. So if we're relying on the staff to track it accordingly and you miss a tally and that tally is a $225 number, you don't know where it's at. It's lost in transition. And I'm not saying that increasing the rate would help that. I'm just saying it's a suggestion to try because we tried a little bit of everything.
But why do we not go to, I know that they have like the phone there that they can do credit cards with, but why don't we get them a terminal that whether it's cash or credit, everything's getting rung in and then you're getting a Z report at the end of the day?
We certainly can, however, there's no internet down there, so we can do it on an iPad.
Mhm.
We don't have that software system currently. Right now, all of our tracking is in Excel.
Okay, but we have the company phone down there,
We certainly do.
correct? So
Yeah.
you can hotspot it through that.
Right.
So like when I would go vend at a farmer's market, I'm on a fork, I can take a terminal from my restaurant and hotspot it to my phone, and then the credit cards are all going through.
That's the key. I
Okay.
think the suggestion last month was we should probably transition to all credit card. That way, once it's rung up, you have the tally sheet. What's happening now is we not only take credit card, but also cash. So even if you have a terminal to track cash, the problem is the cash isn't making it to the bank with the same slip and the tally marks do not match. So we got like 3 different issues with it.
Right.
Who's training this with on? Brandy?
For 2 of the opening seasons at Town Hall, I was with the cash attendants along with Brandy.
Okay.
And when we say train, it's taking cash and giving cash back and running a credit card. There's not, I don't wanna say there's a lot of training involved, but it's really a 5-minute training session, if that.
Well, what I'd like to figure out is the concern about taking cash has always been that there's gonna be a certain group of people that don't have a credit card or whatever.
Yep.
But from our standpoint, as in the pool business, how many of those people are already on passes at the beginning of the year? So if some of the kids that we're worried about maybe not having access to debit card or something like that, or coming and not needing to give any money to get into the pool that day either way, then really the only cash that they should have to worry about at the pool is what they spend at the concession stand. So if one of our hangups is we're still taking cash for parties and things like that, I think it's totally reasonable to say we're not taking cash for parties anymore, you gotta put it on the card. And maybe we can really go cashless from our end of the operations, and it wouldn't be so detrimental that some of the people were concerned about.
We can go cashless if you guys want.
What's our percentage right now as far as credit card versus cash?
I don't even, I
Which
mean,
ballpark?
I think most people are doing a credit card, I mean, I think a lot of people are doing the passes more than anything else.
Mhm.
So we do have quite a few credit cards. There are days where cash is like, I would say 50-50, but for the most part, I think credit cards are more prevalent.
And then I know that there's a certain group that comes on the regular in the evenings because it's, they can get in for cheaper, and I would assume that, however they're paying, maybe we will look into evening pass for some of those folks so that they can pay up front, and then that's one less people we need to swipe for.
An evening pass versus a daily pass, so evening pass would only allow you in after 5,
Yep.
Sunday through Saturday.
Yeah.
We can have some date, some amounts and propose it at the next meeting. I'm not prepared, we're prepared to talk about that one.
Would there be an interest from this group, though, to pursue trying to get us cashless so that we can just solve this problem?
I don't wanna go cashless.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Been close
sorry.
That wasn't even on the agenda, so I'm just really excited for that, okay.
I'm with you guys.
And I get it.
Okay,
I just think, some kids are probably given $10 for the day and they're just like, that's what you get. And then they show up and they're like, then what do you do? Deny them entry?
No, I would like to be able to, we don't have a good enough tracking system to really get, without Brandy being here or talking to some of the lifeguards, I don't feel like we have a good enough idea of how many of those kids aren't on pass.
Correct.
Understood. And if they are on passes, then that's all our problem. Or concerning. Because they can still come with their $10 and get figured. I don't know how we would get better numbers on that without getting a feel from the staff.
and even at that point, we can't even get tally sheets from the staff, I'm just being honest, but yeah, I mean, we can certainly ask Brandy, if she has a good handle on that. She hasn't been the one at the desk though.
Right.
So I don't know if she would even have an answer for that.
Well, I guess the other, what I was going down initially though is, are we using Square, or is it all through NCR or whatever?
NCR.
Can NCR not get us a Square type terminal that they can turn and people can, whether we're taking cash, it's exactly like a restaurant.
If we would have everything credit card related, we could, yeah.
But they could bring in cash transactions too.
I
And then at
don't,
the end of the day, that cash would just need to match that rebate.
I don't know if, NCR now changed to global, so we don't really have a direct salesperson or a contact. I don't know if they are set up to be a terminal just for cash tracking, I'd have to ask.
Let's find out.
Yep.
Because I think that if we could get a computerized printout of what it is, instead of this tally sheet that is so, open to human error, at least would be a not jumbled mess of having to edit it.
Do you guys have input on the wages then for next year, if you want Jack to go through a different rate change and what that would be budget-wise?
Yeah, let's do that.
And if you guys have the rate change, what would that look like? Because right now we're at $10 for cash attendant, 11 and 12 for lifeguard 1. Lifeguard 2 means they have prior experience, and then the pool coordinator at 18. And I will say from Brady's standpoint, the pool coordinator, because of the gain of the license, it is taking some of the work away from Public Works with the chlorinator and the panel, so.
yeah, having to check that stuff and then more money because
Yeah.
lots of them down there, which helps.
Would you suggest like 20 an hour for the pool coordinator then,
That's
or?
exactly right. I mean, does she have interest in coming back next year?
I think she does.
Great.
If she does have interest, I would like to see like more of the coordinating on her, you know, off season.
Okay.
That would be the only thing I propose, I think. I
Okay.
think
Are we
the-
having issues finding lifeguards at those rates?
So right now I have the 2026 season posted at the same rates. This year we were able to fill all the spots and then even have mid-year hires. So I'm not saying that we lacked lifeguards, but the problem that we lack is having lifeguards ready in May with all paperwork, all clearances ready to go for the start of the season. That's what we lack. But I think that would be a struggle no matter what pay you guys give.
I mean, we're pushing it back to 2.5 weeks now, so.
I think that would certainly help, because this year we ran into issues where, you know, these are probably, you know, new people that are, you know, I'll say new employees that are trying to set up their bank accounts for the first time, trying to fill out this paperwork, so it has been a hurdle every year that we open the pool.
I'd like to see a little raise, but
Yeah,
I would too.
to me, it would still like 50 cents.
That's what I thought too. I would like to see Brandy get 20. I thought,
What about like
Thank
the desk attendant 11, and then the lifeguards 11.50 and 12.50?
if Jack can run some numbers, see what that puts us.
Jack, do you think that will solve our cash attendant issue?
I think,
Okay, I don't think so either, but
I just think there needs to be like somebody, some sort of better assistance for them to get started.
The cash attendant?
Yeah. I feel like we're not paying a lot of attention to them and just throwing them into the wind.
I mean, I can appreciate your frustration. But again, Jack, you know, I've worked in an industry where you're just at a terminal taking people's money and there's better ways to do it. It's not that hard. And I would say if we're gonna give Brandy a raise, then that has to be part of it, that she's matching that C report
Yes.
before it's hit finance. So, because that shouldn't be Jody work.
Right.
right.
No optimism in that, right, but okay.
We're in agreement, but yeah, it was a tough year, so, but we'll work on something. Jack will run some numbers. If you guys are set for $11 for the cash attendance, I don't know, Jack, if you have a different suggestion, but I would say a lot of times, I think what we're up against is we're not paying enough for that position to be able to do the work. And it could be a $30 intake day, or it could be a $5,000 intake day. And we're depending on that person making $10 an hour, or in this case, $11 an hour.
But they're still just sitting in the shade taking money.
Okay,
It doesn't matter how much money they're taking.
I think there's gonna be problems no matter what you pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$11 an hour,
I don't
you
think
get a
this-
better quality.
I don't
employee.
think this system is set up well enough for someone to succeed.
I would say in the cash situation.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's a reflection on basic personal attributes, being able to say one tally mark equals $7. That was not exhibited this season. They do not have that capability. And if you have 10 tally marks, and that comes up to $7 and that $70 in total, there was no ability for individuals to determine that. And if we had 3 individuals.
All right, fine, that,
that,
yeah.
and so it's really tough, to go forward at the same salary rate, you get what you pay for as a raise a year, but it could have been increased, you would have felt a lot better because with Joe's time on it, especially some of mine, it was very difficult to go through the application. Very difficult.
Let's find out about a terminal too.
Alright.
I just can't imagine they can't give us something that makes it more official.
So $20 coordinator, 11 cash attendant, 11.50, 12.50 for the rates for Jack to run.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from Bonnie.
You good with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
All right, Doc.
the library has that too, times, well, I don't know if it's something like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's where what, but
I think we're just throwing these kids to the wind and like just.
I worked several years to get the current tally sheet to the format, so maybe the terminal will solve it, I hope, so. That helps for number 10, thank you,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, cool. Number 9.
or number 9,
Yeah,
sorry.
all right. Any other comments on that? Cool. Okay, you need a vote? Okay. Next is approval of the community-based employer agreement.
We learned about a program through the college where they're basically finding a place for student workers that need aid to work, so we'd explore the option of maybe getting a person for him there and still in the code office and also in the lobby.
Okay.
Benefit everybody in the conversation before about hiring someone, this would be a way to potentially get someone for, I don't know how many hours a week get paid by someone other than this.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
maybe they can tally bullshits.
You never know.
They're going to college. Okay.
I did have an email with the directions of tally, so I really tried to.
I know, I'm not blaming anyone here.
No.
I think it's just, it's, I just don't understand how there's not a correlation.
Yeah. But maybe this solves not only our code issues, but I don't think there's a limit on how many we can request. Is there?
Well, I'll ask him if there's anybody in the summers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do not print this, but I work with adults who can't figure out tally sheets. It's not just kids.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I was gonna say, I don't think that it's,
Like your fingers are twitching.
You got to figure it out at this point.
Is it 2 years intricate?
No, I think Jo was able to pick it up and she's a new hire this year, so.
well, Toby got it.
Like, I'm ready.
Wow, that was my best for you.
Right? No, some people just do,
But I think if we had a terminal too, you would be able to have like the, come 3 o'clock on the weekday, you could have the other things drop off, and then the only button they have to press is 3:50,
Yes.
past 5 o'clock or whatever it is. Like, it would cut down on some of the,
One dollar right now.
yeah.
Because I'm really working this is pretty.
Hopefully it can do the deposit slip, but yeah, we're not gonna pretend, so yeah, if you guys are good with Mike's item or.
Okay, no, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, any other
We need
questions or
to-
comments?
Make a motion.
Typically, agreements like this go to council first.
Okay.
I just know you had that conversation, was it last week?
Well, let's explore it a little bit first before we probably have some experience with it too. Like, did you guys have something with that too?
Yes, we do have a student worker. I think it works out great.
Okay.
It's a good program. You find a student that's like, usually working within the field that they're studying, come down, they answer phones, and they help us out quite a bit.
No, it is White State University,
What?
Yeah, that's good practice.
She can do tally sheets.
And I appreciate all the people that do tally sheets for me, so. For everyone.
Okay, so you wanna have more of a solid proposal?
Sure why it's on you, but. We're moving forward with it, unless you tell me now.
Okay.
You sent it to me and it's like, well, I can't sign it unless council approves it, so.
Making it work every time.
Then you've got the nod. Okay, next is the approval of the Bucknell University Senior Design Project for the website.
I know there's been some comments, about, why Bucknell. I don't know if you guys wanna formally approve it, but it would be allowing our website credentials to be given outside of town staff, which, I want really an approval at committee and council level for that in case something does happen, which I
Yeah.
hope nothing happens, but,
Don't we always?
yeah.
So they'd be putting a new website for us?
They would be working on many projects, anything, right now, if you look at our homepage, I think there's probably a different way it could be laid out to make it a little bit more user-friendly. So these are students that are in their senior year at Bucknell. Mark Gardner heard about our issue with the website, reached out to the chamber. The chamber had a connection with Bucknell, so that's how it kind of all started.
Yeah, they do, well, depending on what area you're in, they help with small business development.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Inner. Okay, do you wanna vote on that?
I'll move to approve. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, thank you. Next, a discussion of the draft social media policy.
Where'd it go?
So, I've been doing my best on social media. I don't know if there's, a formal policy. I know sometimes I post things which it might not have the full information, so it might be a comment on that original post to say, what about this, what about that? So I want direction, whether or not I should be commenting on the town's post. Tony Bell is very much notorious for, I guess you would say, like, noting town hall in a post, like on other platforms,
Yeah.
thinking I will respond. I have been responding to some of them. I've been hearing from some council members like, no, don't do it. So I just want a formal policy to say, this is what anyone, if it's not Lisa Dooley doing it, this is our policy, that, that person should be doing it.
I think your post has been very detailed of late and, informative.
I don't see him, so I have no idea what's going on.
You've been helping, you've been using an assistant, right? Like an electronic assistant.
AI and
Yeah.
ChatGPT, I mean,
Yeah.
it saves me a lot of time. It includes like the fun emoji things, like, that's not me. Yeah, it's doing that in a minute, so.
Right, no, and I think it's been going really well, like, some of the things come up, I thought,
Right,
answers most of the questions that people would have. This is much more informative than what you probably would come up with just sitting there writing it. It would take 4 times as long.
right.
I think it's really, really good. I
Like
think
the
the question is that, are we looking to engage on those platforms as opposed to saying like, hey, if you have further questions, email info or call town hall or whatever? I guess the question is what would be your preferred method of, if people have legitimate questions, say, reach out to town hall.
Right, and it's not only that, like, there's a messenger platform on it, so like, I don't really check that, because most of it is junk.
Right.
But, I don't wanna be missing someone's important question, like, hey, I wanna have a pool party, can you help me? And it's like, am I checking that? So I think there is probably some debate as to what are we monitoring? I know the police website Randy has on the left, like this page is not monitored, and they typically don't respond to comments. Now, we have left our posts open to comments. I will be fully honest, like Twitter, I haven't used since last year. We got maybe 222 impressions and maybe 1 comment on like 100 different posts last year, so I stopped using it. Instagram, I hear, is the thing. I don't know anything about that really. TikTok is the thing. We're probably late on both of those. I'm sure there's probably a new platform out there. We also have a LinkedIn page when we post jobs. Doesn't really get a lot of traction, but it's just another source like Indeed to say we have a job posting. I don't know if you guys want to keep any of this active, but it is things that are on the shared drive for passwords for admin staff in case
Alright, I
someone
think
needs to.
Twitter, we don't need. Yeah, get rid of Twitter.
Okay.
I would appreciate Instagram, because that's the only one I have.
Do you know?
I don't.
You know,
It's the same thing as
Is it like Pinterest?
No, it's very, you got this.
Okay.
It's very easy.
All right.
You're thinking too much about it.
Okay, so we'll get Instagram at what about TikTok?
No.
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 No TikTok?
That
Bossy
would
says
require actual like
Are you
production
making
of.
videos? Are you gonna make the video?
I did create a video of the the pedestrian countdown. It had over 3,000 views the last time I watched or saw it,
Yeah.
but
I'll do TikTok.
okay.
That was gonna be my only thing, is if Jody's willing to do it, to have someone cooler than us do it.
Maybe not TikTok, but Instagram. That's bigger too.
Yeah, but both go together, so you create a TikTok, you're gonna see, people are gonna see that immediately.
Well, it's you.
Instagram Reels, you're gonna see it like 3 weeks later.
I always say over 20 likes on Facebook or trending, like that's big for us. So I just need some clarification on it.
Would it be awful to say, like, for Facebook, whenever you make a post, if you have any questions, like, email, or, you know, something, and just turn on comments? Would that be-
I think comments are fine, but I think there should be a general message that you send to them, you're like, hey, if you have questions, I don't think we respond to, like, if Tony Bell's sending you something, I don't think we should respond. I think,
I would turn off the setting that people can tag us in posts,
Yeah.
because that would
That's a
cut
great
off
idea.
that.
Yeah,
That's the term tag, yes.
Yeah.
yes.
I think I said something to Tony, like,
Yeah,
We'll turn that off.
because I don't think we really want the social media pages to be the official channel,
Right.
because there'd just be too much random questions. So I would put, you know, in whatever you're posting, have something that says questions can be answered at info. You know, and let the comments on so that people can see that there's an engagement. But if people are really looking to get, you know, a straight answer, then that way, I think email is just the easier way to pass information on.
Okay.
Because that way you can pass along, sign up forms or whatever it was based upon their questions, and email as an attachment that you won't be able to do as easily on the social media platform.
and also refer to the website. Yeah. Like, make that a standard thing there, like what the police have, I guess. So,
We just don't engage on Facebook.
Yeah,
It's really
you would
not,
have no other time.
yeah,
it's not worth it.
yeah.
So Facebook, don't engage, posting's fine, make it known to turn off the tags and not to worry about Messenger.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, don't worry about Messenger.
am I missing anything on Facebook?
Through the past 30 seconds. I think we already have that. If there were only a forum where people could anonymously complain.
Yeah.
You know, we only really run Instagram and Facebook for the business. They're both meta platforms, so it's kind of easy. You can get a separate, you can get like a business suite that would post to both.
Oh.
So it wouldn't be like any real additional work. And especially with what you're doing, I would say, so if you wanted to run an Instagram, I think that would trend to a younger demographic.
Okay.
Or just those, that
Yeah.
decided that one part of Mark Zuckerberg's, empire is terrible, but the other one's worth hanging around.
That's not thought process.
Would be the easiest as far as administrative work for social media.
Are you guys good with keeping our Indeed account and LinkedIn account? Or do we not wanna have, I mean, Indeed is like a posting one, but do you want LinkedIn, like, what do we have,
I don't think
no
you need a
followers? We don't have any followers hardly, maybe
Or like,
10, yeah, and they're all employees.
I think it'd be okay to get rid of LinkedIn. I think we need to keep Indeed.
Okay. So no on TikTok, yes on Instagram, and have them hooked together.
I would love nothing more than Elisa Jolie found TikTok, but,
It is really popular with the college kids, I will just tell you that.
I have the most TikTok.
There is
I don't have it.
very
I
interesting
don't
TikTok
think
going
that-
around right now too, so.
But no, I think that would be entirely too time consuming for what our purposes
Yeah.
are.
Okay. Do you have TikTok? Yeah. All right, well then that helps. I will tighten up the policy and then have it on for Mondays. So no comments on Facebook posts
Yeah,
and just kind of leave it as, here's a post, but allow people to comment.
I was gonna say, allow people to comment,
Okay.
don't respond.
yeah,
All right.
No responses on Facebook posts, because it's,
you can spend all your time doing that,
Yes, responding.
and that's not your job.
okay.
Unless
Let's say when there's college people.
Let's turn the comments all the way up, post information.
Okay,
There's that too.
is that good?
That's a good direction, better than what we've had. So
And now we're so everything,
What's that?
now we're so everything.
like I probably go out of my way, like when I hear comments like, oh, I wonder who the conservation district told, like, you know, I better do a right to know, right? So like, I go out of my way, I'm like, here's the email, like, we got that, right? So like, I try to
Thank you, Lisa.
communicate, but,
I get that. But there's a certain amount of just, people are never satisfied one way or another. So like, I don't think that you need to worrying about spending your time getting every person who's looking for something that isn't there, every bit of information. Like, if they're that serious about worried about the conservation district, then just email info and send it over.
Okay.
But I think if you actually, I think the problem with social media oftentimes is that it's just so easy to just throw something out there, and you're doing, you know, everybody here I think is taking their job seriously, so you take it serious when someone has a concern like that. Well, but it's not a really necessarily legitimate concern, it's just them spouting off. So if they do think it's a legitimate concern and they're willing to take the step of actually sending an email, that's just as easy to respond to, and you know they're actually serious.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on that front? Next is review of the safety minutes from May, June, July, and August. Nothing terrible. Okay. Anything else then with the good of the order? Chief?
Just one thing, we have a couple of those extra signs that we can post, the ones that, you know, submitted tip type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have 5 left. Is there any specific place that you guys would like them posted throughout town? I know we had talked about maybe putting them in some back parking lots off of Pine Avenue, maybe on Ridge. Just, you know, report suspicious activity type thing.
Do we have any downtown?
No, I don't think we posted any downtown yet. It's more we stayed around the park, the bathroom. So, like I said, we don't have, I think we have 5 or 6 maybe, and I'd like to get them out.
Do we have any on the BART?
Yeah, First Street Field.
I don't think we put them on the BART, did we? No. No, we could put 1 or 2 down there, and then maybe a couple in the parking lots, if that's okay with you guys.
I would put one at the beginning and the end of the BART.
Yeah.
I'd put one in Miller Avenue for the time being, because there's lots of people hanging out there on the regular, and then, yeah, the others would be seatbed.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then I have a motion. Is there any other comments from the public? Okey dokey. All in favor, please say aye. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote. Thank you.
Great job, everybody.
The other